Is the toy market collapsing? It certainly does seem that way. With Hasbro just releasing their third quarter earnings, it's not looking good. Over the last 5 months, they've lost about $3 billion in revenue. And they're still saying that they're somehow going to try to increase their profits by 50%. I don't see how they can. They've attributed the loss in sales to higher prices, etc. And I just want to talk about a few of the things in this video that I think are impacting all of that. And some of the impact that we're seeing is, I haven't seen it in the entire time that I've been collecting as an adult, really. But anyway, we have the loss in revenue, the loss in sales with Hasbro, but you also have all of these changes that they've made. They've raised prices by around 20% on most of their 6-inch action figures. You went from $19.99 to $24.99. $5 increase might not seem like a whole lot, but whenever you're pumping out large amounts of action figures, I mean, it adds up quick. And people are getting tired of A, the price increases, and B, not being able to get product. People waiting forever to get product. Right now, it is October 21st. We have been waiting 2 days shy of a full year on the Target exclusive figures. The Tiger Force Outback G.I. Joe figure and the Python Patrol Cobra figures. I just got an email from Target saying that I needed to go into the app and approve a delay a 4th time. Now it's delayed to November 4th. It boggles my mind how this is happening, because these things are shelf warming in Canada. They've been out in Asia and Europe for months. I had these things a while back, and they're still struggling to get them on the shelves here in the United States. Some have speculated or gotten information from people they know inside Target that Target has these in their warehouses. Target has these in their back rooms, but they're not putting them out. They're not putting them out because they have so much product that's not selling. It's not selling at retail. Well, the movie figures nobody wants, those are still on the shelves. They're not clearancing them out enough. And even if they are clearancing them out, I've seen people trying to sell these things for like $5 a piece, and you cannot give them away. I mean, it's just, nobody seems to be buying them at all. Speaking of clearancing out, what have we seen here very recently happen with Amazon and other retailers? You had the Viper 3-pack and other figures, the Snake Eyes and Timber repaint boxed set. The Viper 3-pack was originally supposed to retail for, I think, like $89.99, and the Snake Eyes and Timber deluxe pack was retail for $44.99. That today, that specific Snake Eyes and Timber pack, there's an online retailer, Dorkside Toys, that has priced theirs at $29.99. That is below, I'm not sure exactly where they are purchasing from. They may be buying direct from Hasbro, but if they're using a distributor similar to the same distributor that I'm using, that's below the best tier wholesale price. So are they actually losing a couple bucks a piece on these? I mean, are they like, before they are even really out, are they marking a brand new product down that far that they're going to actually lose money on it? It would seem that's the case. Amazon marked the Viper 3-pack. They discounted it down to $85. It's still in stock. They're not selling. They're not selling at retail. It's been happening with Marvel Legends a lot as well. These items are not holding even retail value. Longer than that, the Masters of the Universe Origins line and the Masterverse line, those are not holding retail value. They're not even selling at retail. businesses are clearancing everything out to get rid of it. The idea behind it is sell it for what you can get so that you're not taking a complete and total loss on the product. Now, what do I think is the reason for all of the decline in toy sales? Say it with me. Recession. Some of you watching this video will remember what it was like in 2008, 2010, that era when we saw our first economic decline, our major economic decline as adults. We saw our first recession. We saw $4 a gallon gas. We saw high interest rates. We saw businesses closing, manufacturing closing and going out of business or moving their business out of the United States. Very specifically here in my small town, we had factories that had formerly been a staple of this community close because they had lost so much business. They just could not remain open, and they could not continue to employ people. And a lot of people lost their jobs, people lost their homes, there were empty houses all around this community, and nobody was buying anything. People were buying what they had to. Me personally, I experienced economic hardship at that time in my life. I was driving quite a distance back and forth to work, and at the time it felt like I was basically just working to buy gas to go back and forth to work. Things were tight. My collecting hobbies, they were put on a back burner at the time. And the same thing happened for a lot of people, and worse. During an economic recession, one of the first things to go is luxury spending. And what are toys? Toys are luxury spending. During COVID, we had a boom in the collector market. And I think that a lot of that boom in the collector market, especially with people shopping in stores for items, exclusive items and whatnot, I think that a lot of that was people who were making a lot of money flipping items to people who were stuck at home and looking for a way to experience that nostalgia from their childhood. We had a lot of new collectors coming in to different aspects of the hobby. We had G.I. Joe, we had Masters of the Universe. We had all this stuff that was popping up, and toy sales were through the roof. It was hard to find anything on shelves, and stores, of course, were having a hard time getting product. Something else that started popping up was people who realized that, at least at the time, they were able to make as much or more money starting their own businesses, their own retail businesses, than what they were able to make at the regular job that they were working. I know several people who quit their jobs because their own business they started was doing so well. And now some of those businesses, they're not doing so well. Just my business alone, my sales revenue has dropped around 50% over the last 4 to 5 months on eBay. That's just the eBay aspect of it. That's not everything else, but I think that drop in revenue, that drop in sales, is probably about the same across the board for at least my business. I started selling new toys. I went through the process of getting my official business set up, and got set up with a couple distributors, and started selling new toys to go along, new action figures to go along with the custom items that I was already selling. And I had a boom in business and was doing really, really well. I've been doing this for about 2 years now, and into that second year it was doing better than ever, and then all of a sudden it just started dropping. And that's around the time that we started hearing talk of a recession. Gas prices started going up, interest rates started going up. Right now, interest rates for loans and mortgages specifically, are over 8%. I just refinanced my house this year, back in, I believe, January or February. My interest rate's like 2%, and it's jumped up that much since then. You've basically gotten into an economy where people are unable to get the loans for houses that they were able to buy 6 months ago, because the interest rates have jumped up so much. not only have interest rates on those types of loans gone up, but interest rates on business loans have gone up, on auto loans. So you're starting to see the auto industry, the car sales, slow down. You're starting to see housing sales slow down. And you're starting to see, it's going to happen. I'm telling you right now that it's going to happen. People who own businesses that depend on financing, those businesses are not going to last in the economic climate that we currently have. When you see companies start clearancing everything out, and this is one of the things that Hasbro said that we were going to see retailers, online retailers, starting to clearance out their inventory because it's just not selling. They're clearancing out that inventory and they're going to carry less, and it's going to be more expensive, and sales are going to continue to suffer. The same thing is going to happen with small businesses, especially those small businesses who have purchased their inventory on credit cards, have purchased their inventory through business loans. They're not going to be able to get the loans to continue that type of business. They're not going to be able to hit sales to pay those credit cards off on time. There are people in my situation or similar to my situation who decided to start a business, and instead of buying their inventory with money they already had, they either borrowed money or they put money on a credit card, which is the same thing as borrowing money. Personally, I'm not going to clearance my stock out and take a loss on it. I don't have to. I own all of my inventory. I didn't finance any of it. And if you're starting a business, I suggest you do the same thing. Make sure that you have that money to purchase your inventory before you start trying to buy and sell stuff. If you're doing it in loans, I feel bad for you. That sucks. It's something that a lot of people get sucked into. I've watched it happen with friends' businesses and watched them, unfortunately, very unfortunately, fail within the first couple of years. And it's some of us can afford to set on the inventory that we have. There's not a lot of profit margin in new toys anyway, new action figures and stuff. There is profit in the vintage market, buying and flipping collections. Buy an entire collection at a cheap wholesale price and then piece it out individually at a higher retail price. That's one way that this business is profitable. The independent business aspect of all of this, I'll probably end up making a standalone video just talking about some of that and my experiences in doing this. I am by no means a professional. It's just my experiences over the last couple of years that I've been selling action figures and stuff as an actual business. So what do we see happening in the very near future, since one of the biggest toy manufacturers for the United States has decided that they're going to try and increase profits? They've lost revenue over this last quarter, over the last 5 months. They're going to keep jacking up prices, and they're going to price, and this is just pure speculation. I don't know that for a fact this is going to happen, but they're going to price themselves out of a lot of this business. Of course, there are still things that they make that are going to be incredibly popular and profitable. There's all kinds of toys for younger kids, but the collector market, I foresee the collector market starting to collapse as far as new stuff goes. Vintage will always be there. The prices fluctuate on vintage stuff all the time. I've seen it cheap throughout my life of collecting, and I've seen it very expensive as it is right now. Not as expensive as it is right now, but I've seen prices get up there, and seen most of you have as well. But I do foresee the entire market shrinking, especially with the new toys. As for Hasbro and their sales, when people stop buying stuff, what's going to happen? Stores don't want to carry those products. So Target, are they going to keep reordering G.I. Joe? That's just one example. This isn't just about G.I. Joe. It's about G.I. Joe. It's about Marvel Legends. It's about Star Wars. all the stock that they have in their inventory sitting on their shelves that just isn't selling. They're not going to order more if they can't sell what they already have. We're going to start seeing those toy sections shrink down. Retailers like BBTS and Dorkside and Entertainment Earth. Entertainment Earth has the distribution side. So that's one thing that kind of helps them out a little bit, I think, because I'm not going to give my full opinion on that just yet. But anyway, they do have a retail side where they sell all the stuff from Hasbro. They're even marking stuff down. These companies, they're not going to buy as much inventory for their warehouses as they previously did because it's not selling. I've noticed a lot more stuff remaining in stock in the distribution side than what was staying in stock previously. Previously, it was you pre-order something, and then when they get it all in, it's all gone. It's all pushed out. You know, they have some for their retail that sold out immediately, and then they have some for their distribution side that just stayed sold out. And not everything is doing that now. So if retailers and distributors aren't buying product, and the consumer market's not buying product from the retailers, see, we are not Hasbro's customers. As collectors, we are not Mattel's customers. Their customers, these companies, their customers are retailers and distributors. So it's kind of a trickle-down effect to what we see. What products are going to end up on the chopping block? What products are going to no longer be profitable for them to sell, or no longer profitable for them to produce such a large assortment of? And what's going to be cut out? What product lines are going to be discontinued? I'm going to be 100% honest. I see G.I. Joe being one of the first lines to go from Hasbro. Some of their other smaller lines may also go. I think that Marvel Legends and Star Wars will definitely continue, mainly because they have the licensing agreements with Disney, and Disney is this gigantic entity that's just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And they're going to sell as much as they can. So I do think that those lines will survive, but I could very well foresee the G.I. Joe classified line, the retro lines, if not being discontinued, at least shrinking to a smaller focus, which would probably be the G.I. Joe classified line. If they keep anything, that will be the line that they keep, because it's probably the most profitable for them. Bottom line, that's what they care about, is profits. Hasbro, for the most part, yeah, the team is active with the consumer community, the development team for G.I. Joe, but, you know, Hasbro as an entity really doesn't care so much about us as consumers. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom or anything like that with this video, but it's just opinion based on facts. Things that are happening around us, and this whole recession thing. You have the White House literally trying to change the definition of a recession so that they can say we're not actually in a recession, when the definition of a recession is a negative growth in a negative GDP for 2 consecutive quarters. And well, we just had that, so we're moving into it pretty good. I do think that we are on the front end of a recession, but I don't think it's something that we can get out of. It's going to get much worse before it gets better. I hope that I am wrong in some of this, but I think that all of you, whether you own a business or not, or you're just a casual collector, I think that all of you should better buckle up, because you're in for a ride, especially if you haven't been through it before. A lot of the younger people don't really know a whole lot about what's happening, but some of us that have lived through it already, we know what's coming, or at least we think we do, because we've seen it. All right, guys, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Check out the description for links to Amazon sales, because a lot of shit's going on sale right now, and links to Facebook groups and other useful things. My eBay store, my Teespring, if you want to support me there, please do. The eBay store especially. Check out some of the clamshell cases that you see back here behind me. All these things I sell on eBay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.